Hi, how's it going? I'm excited today. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. I got the camera set up right, so we're good. And I've got good light behind me. The blinds are closed, so we should be able to see really good today. Um, it is the first week of February. And so the first week of February, I'm doing a challenge and I'm challenging you to paint a little bit on a larger scale, not just in a journal, but like, so this is something, and the reason why I'm calling it a challenge is because I don't think these are going to be one and done activities. It's something that you might work on all month with your other things, which basically means I won't be finishing it during this. But today we are going to be doing flowers, and I'm going to show you just kind of ideas to paint them in all different directions. Um, my husband just texted me because I snapped at him earlier, and then I apologize for snapping at him. Anyways, so if you do come on here, say hi. I'm going to wait a minute and see if we can get this going on. See if I can pull up the thingy. I think this is it. Yep. Okay. This is it. All right, perfect. Let's do it. There we are. Yay. Let's do it. There we are. Okay, take that off. All right, now I will see if anybody's making comments or anything like that, and it looks like nobody is on yet. So we're all good. Oh, no, there is somebody. Hi, Sue. Hey, hey, hey. How you doing? All right. So I'm not gonna wait around. How's the weather in Florida right now? We had beautiful weather for a couple days, and it was supposed to be really pretty today, but the fog never burnt off, so it kind of stayed kind of dreary. But it's like 65 degrees, so the temperature's nice. But I think tomorrow it's supposed to be close to 80 degrees and sunny again, and so we've just been kind of having up and down, up and down, up and down weather. But anyways, so so I will just let you know what we're doing. Oh, hi Peggy, beautiful and 80. Hey Peggy. So this is what we're doing. So painting flowers in all four directions, and there's way more than four directions. In this post, as an attachment, you can download this photograph. So this is a photograph, and I'm gonna use this as my reference when I'm going to paint this painting. Now, you can use this as your reference, but I think it would be fun for you to find your own photograph. But today we're gonna just use it for practicing, and I'm gonna show you my process for painting flowers facing in all different directions, because they morph in shape, right? When they change directions, they completely change shape. And so I want to, we're not painting realism. We're still painting in more expressive ways, but I like the flowers to be in different directions, so it looks a little bit more realistic, right? But not, still expressionism, right? So I'm going to show you the process that I go through. We're going to do a few drawings on here, and then this is a canvas that I'm starting to make this painting, and I'll show you how I'm going to get some flowers on there. Okay? Okie dokie. Alrighty. Let's see here. So I'm going to move this closer. Let's see here. I want to get close as I can without it being like obstructive to me, because I want to be, is that good? Let's get a little closer. All right, there we go. Okay, so that's pretty close, right? So for me to practice the directionality of petals, and something that we have to keep in mind is drawing and painting is completely different. So when I draw, I usually draw from the middle out, right? So that way I'm not overlapping things with my pencil. And when I paint, I usually paint from the outside in. So the inside of the flower is the last thing I paint unless I need to pull some petals over top of the little thingy, right? Of the little stamen. So drawing and painting are the opposite, but drawing really gives you the action, right? So by the action, I mean the movement of the petals, right? And so this is what I do to kind of warm myself up is I might take this because these are tricky, right? Like the direction of these petals are tricky, especially the ones on this side, because even though, you know, they may look a little bit straighter, there's some curves to some of them. I might just take these flowers and see, like I said, I go from the inside out and I'm going to draw what I see in here. And then this pen's a little bit thick to do it, but I thought I want you to see better. So I can really focus in on the movement of these petals and the shape, right? The shape of these petals. And then when I go to paint it, I know how to move my paintbrush. Okay, these ones are tricky because there's some that are sticking up this way and some going this way. Some going that way. Oops, that one going that way. This is really curving. This is really curving up. Some are straight. These ones are starting to curve this way, see? And now when and look at that one, it's curving up. Okay, so now when I go in with my paintbrush, I'm gonna start from these outsides, but I know which way to draw. So here's a real tricky one. So for drawing it, I'm gonna start with this inside, right? And that would be the last part I do when I'm painting, but for here, I'm just gonna scribble this inside. And then these petals are coming way off to the side. And this petal is just a weird shape, right? There's its stem right here. And there's another petal right there, okay? So that one is super tricky, right? Very, very tricky. Let's try this one. This one's pointing down, but see this inner circle here? I'm gonna paint that. And then there's a little, or I'm gonna draw it. There's a little circle going around here, kind of darker situations. And then I'm gonna get these in like that. There. And then I can go, okay, let's start from the middle and go out while I'm drawing. This helps me when I go to paint, right? See which shape, which direction these flowers are pointing in. This one's pointing that way a little bit. And you see here's the dark area right here. And here's like a little place that I would sketch. And then there's these little loop-de-loops facing that way. And those have shading on the inside of them that, you know, that's a whole nother topic of discussion. Okay. Same thing here. This one's a little bit difficult, a little bit more difficult. But that's how, and so like you can see this one, that's pretty easy, but the stem is something that we might miss. Like this stem is coming out like that, and that just makes it so cool, right? And there you are. And then the opposite is this one facing up, and the leaves coming way out like that to the side. And us not really seeing the bottom of the flower, but seeing the middle right here. And this one is the same type of flower, but you can't see the middle. So all you see is the leaves because it's kind of facing backwards. So this one I see the stem and where it's attached. This one I don't really see where it's attached so much. So it's just playing with those, okay? And so then the next thing I might do, are we here? Whoop, let me check. The next thing I might do is go and start drawing some on a canvas. Hi, Luann. So I would just do the same thing. I might look at this drawing and just kind of practice. Here's the color version. You guys can download this if you want. So I might just practice. Like, so let's start with easy. Let's practice that one. This is just a board that I kind of play on. And it's coming up there, and then this like overlaps and it goes right to the stem over here, and then this comes around and comes into there. And then we kind of see the attachment there. And then this one underneath is facing up, right? We see just a little bit of attachment, and then I see a petal coming way out this way. And I'm going to sketch it because with a paintbrush, it's always going to look way different. Oh, I did say I start in the middle, and I do like to start in the middle with these. There we go. And I just have like a little real rough rendition of that flower. Okay, and let's pretend we're gonna do this one. Okay, so when I'm drawing, I'm gonna get that middle in, and I usually will just scribble it, unless I'm drawing with pencil. Okay, and if I see these petals are going straight down, but this one right here is coming up, and this one is the one that's showing most. Okay, so that's going to be the first petal I draw because I see the whole thing, right? So I'm going to go to the side and make that shape. And of course, if they don't come out just right, you just start going with it. But you want that direction. And that one goes all the way into that area. And then there's another one that comes out this way. It has this cool little shape, and then one that comes down in between it. And I'm just going to keep on going around until I get it. And then there's some petals that are folded. Okay, and just start stacking them this way. So see, I'm working from the inside out. There you go. And then once I feel like I got the direction, I just keep on going. And this needs to come down a little bit more down here to get it lower and looking kind of a little bit down that way, but not a lot. Okay. This one is super cool right here. This has like the stamen is pointing down, and if you can see the stem is right here and it's going back. Okay, so there's the stem. So that stamen is just a hop, skip, and a jump below the stem right here. And then the first petal I'm gonna draw is the one that I can see the whole petal. So I can see this whole petal, right? So I'm gonna draw that in here. And then there's one coming up in this direction that gets hidden behind the stamen. And then there's one coming up, sweeping up this way. And it has a little roll over right here. So it's rolling over. And then this petal comes around it. It's a wackadoo flower, all falling apart. But that's what makes this arrangement so pretty, I think. There we go. And so then that stem is going to go like this and like that into the flower arrangement. And there's another really faded petal back here because it's in the background. Okay. All right. Okay. So that's just a little bit of that, and you guys can kind of study whatever painting you, whatever photograph. So just look up floral and vase photography, and that's how I do it. Okay, check for comments, and then I'm going to show you what I'm working on. So this is our challenge. I want everybody to participate in this, right? So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be painting a floral with any floral with the flowers going in all sorts of directions. Okay? All sorts of directions. Are you just painting on the black and white picture? I was drawing on a black and white picture. So I was just drawing on it. But this is going to be my rendition of this photograph. Okay, so I've already started, and like I said, it's very different the way that I do it with paint, or the way that we all do it with paint, probably. If you're doing it just like you're drawing, they're going to look very, very flat, right? So you can see here, I started a canvas, and I got just kind of a messy background on here. And obviously it's going to be brighter than this because I'm not so much into this, but I am trying to subdue it down a little bit. But some of these marks that I made on here are very, very wet, just sketches. So you can see this is just the shape of this flower, right? You see that leaf right there is that leaf is that, and it's kind of like in a little arc right here. I left some out. This is the shape of this flower. This flower. I don't have this one in yet. We're going to do that one together. And this is the shape of this flower. So I'm going to do a few more of these translucents, and then we'll get a few flowers in, but I'm not going to finish this because this is one of those paintings that will take me 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, because it's something that I'm going to take my time with. Now, if you don't want to do this with a brush, you can do it with crayons, any like watercolor pencils, or any crayons, or water soluble crayons. I have some of those, and I didn't do that here, so I'm not going to do that here. I'm going to do it just like I did these, and then we'll dry it and we'll put a few flowers on. So basically for most of these colors, the only colors I need are yellow, magenta, and white to make all of those flowers, not the greens. Okay, I'm gonna work on the flowers with you guys and the greens, and I'm gonna work on a few of them, and the greens will come later. Okay, so I'm gonna get this color in, which is just gonna be white and a little tiny bit of magenta and yellow. I'm gonna get them in a very, very wet manner. They're gonna drip, and it's okay. Right? So I'm just putting a tiny drop of paint on my canvas. I mean, on my palette of magenta, white, and yellow. All right. So I'm going to paint with this flat paintbrush, and I'm going to try to make just a darker version of this, right? So when you're painting in watercolor, you're going to start with lights and then add darks, right? When you're painting in acrylic, you're going to put the darker down first, which I really haven't done here because that's just very, very, very translucent, but we'll put dark down in a second. Okay, but this is just going to be, it's going to drip. So I see this flower is coming, it's a big flower, so it's coming above this flower, right? It's starting out here, and I'm going to go from the out. I'm just going to get the shape from the outside in. I'm looking at those shapes. And this is just gonna, it's like a reference, right? It's gonna help me get these shapes in later. And it's really bigger, so I'm gonna come up here. And the middle is right there, but that's gonna come in later, okay? So then this one is right here. See that? And then this one right here is going to be up here. So you see, if I start down here in the crux on the outside of it, that's little flowers, petals going that way. Then they're all layered coming this way, and they get a little bit bigger, and we get more because this flower's looking down. We get more up top. So the lower petals are going to look smaller because the stamen is covering them, right? And then that's going to be right in here, the stamen's pointing down. So that might be where, like, okay, let's get the markers out. Let's get the crayons out so we can kind of look at that. And I'll just do it in orange. Stamen is pointing down this way, right? And then I have kind of got a circle here. Right, this one I've got something going on in the middle right here. So just to get that on there, just to help me have that point of reference. So let's go up. So that's that flower. Let's go right here, which is right above this flower, where I'm going to go a little bit darker with my paint. And for this one, I just want to get the shape in, okay? So if I look at this, let's look at it if I look at this main here, here's the stamen, right? And I look at this shape, it's oblong, right? It's wider down here because the stamen's up here. So it's shorter up where the stamen is. So wherever you want the stamen pointing, that's where your petals are going to be shorter, right? So it's actually an oval. So I'm just going to get that in right above this guy. Where is he's situated about right here. And that's kind of like the shape of him because he's got these petals. Okay, and these are longer here. Down here, these are longer. Yeah, so I got his shape in, it's a he. And then there's one way back in the background, so we'll add more water to make it even lighter. But remember, these are just shapes, right? So there's one way back here behind this guy, and he's just going. There's some funky ones going in all different directions. Okay, this right here shouldn't be here, so we'll throw that out. Okay, let's see what else I got. What else do I have here? That is that guy. That's that guy. I'm trying to look for any big flowers that I may have missed. This one, that one. Oh, there's one hanging way down here. So let's just get him on. I'm looking at the black and white, so I don't even know what color he is based on this. He's orange too. They're all kind of orangish, pinkish. And you see that one's a mess, right? So I'm not even gonna deal with it. I'm just gonna put in the shape and not try to make it look like that one, but I can see that the stamen is hanging way down here in that one. But who knows what that's going to turn out when I paint it. All right. All right, let's wipe some of this off. Okay. I'm going to blow dry it, get it nice and dry, and then we're going to go on. All the other stuff is little tiny stuff. We'll do that later, or I'll do that later. All right. Okay, check the comments. Oh, my computer shuts down on me. I hate that. Okay. No, Lisa. Hi, Lisa. The background is not done in watercolor. The background is done in very, very, very watered down acrylics. And it's, you know, it's gonna, I just did that just to get some color on there. Okay. Thank you for asking. I'm going to start with, look at, I dropped water on this. I'm going to start with this flower, and which is this flower, and then I'm going to move up to that flower, and we'll just see where we go. Okay, so I'm still going to paint with this little flat brush, and then if I feel like it, I might be getting, no, I think I like the shape of those petals, so I think I'm going to paint with this brush. Yep. If I look at that brush, it's very, very pale, so I'm going to take white and just a little tap, tap, tap of magenta and make a pale pink, but that's okay. If it's brighter for me, I'm going to have to add more paint. If it's brighter, you know, I'm all about bright. So I'm going to get some more white on this palette for the rest. Okay. But I do want to go in a little bit darker first. And then I'm going to, you know, lighten it up with white. So because I'm working in opaque now, I'm going to go in darker. So if I look at this drawing, right, the stamen is right here. So I'm just going to mark that off with some. Okay, so there, I know where it is. Okay, and then I'm just going to come in outside and just start making the petals going in the direction that I drew them in. Okay, and does it have to be exactly how it is? I mean, how it is in the painting? Of course not. Putting some white on my brush. So now they're changing to this direction. Some of them are different shaped, some of them are bigger. Because I don't want to worry about this flower, I'm just going to go right over it right now. Just pretend I know what these petals are doing. And we're just going to come in and I'm going to get some more dark in there. Just a little tiny dab of dark on my brush. And now I'm going to go in for another layer of those petals. Okay, I'm going to switch my brush to, so I was painting flat, now I'm going to switch my brush into the other direction just to get a smaller petal. And I don't want them to be perfect. I want them to have a little bit of personality. So I will do some, I'm not even following this anymore. So now I'm just doing the thing. I was just getting the direction down. Gonna get some purple in there, or brighter, darkers in there. Just working with my brush and moving my brush in different directions. Okay, so I don't like the way those look. They need to be going down. So I'm just gonna go right over them. Okay, now I'm gonna do little tiny ones. Okay, and now I'm just gonna dab a little bit of magenta in there in the middle. Okay, wipe my brush off and then just get a little tiny petals just kind of overlapping that magenta. So that way the magenta is the stamen and it looks like it's deep in there and there's other petals overlapping it there. Okay, so there's that one. one down. So you can see why I'm not going to do the whole thing on here because it will take quite a bit of time. I'll check the comments. Okay, no new comments, no new comments. No. Okay, all right, let's do another one. Let me know if you're still here. Let's do this one because this one is super, super, super fun. I'm gonna go out from the outside in, but I am gonna draw the middle first. And this one is like, we're gonna get some, what color is that in the painting? Okay, that is a really pale peach and it's darker in the middle, right? So darker in the middle. So I'm gonna get some, what brush do I wanna use for that one? I'm gonna use this brush because it has, you know, lines, right? But I didn't cover the whole canvas on here and I want to cover the whole canvas. So I'm just gonna pick up some dark. I just want it to be covered, right? Before I go in with the real pale lines. So I'm just gonna get this in here. Just. Okay, but I see it, I see the lines. Just gonna get some really good. Ooh, that's too dark. Wipe that off, sister. Okay, well, that worked. So I'm just gonna get this covered. Okay, now I'm gonna make that peach color. So it's white, a lot of white, a tiny bit of yellow, and a tiny, tiny bit of magenta. It's gonna give me that peach, and we're gonna be putting my brush in. I'm gonna make the stamen first. So the stamen is kind of here. It's pointy. It's going out in this direction, and there's a point. Okay, so and it has darkness at the top of it. So let's get that in there. All right, cool. All right, now I'm gonna go from the outside in again with this. I'm gonna start high. And the flower is the whitest up high. So let's start up here and see these lines that I drew. We're gonna draw those lines, but with paintbrush now. Ooh, this is so fun. I'm gonna go get some pink in there too. Just move my brush around some of the different colors I have on here. Add some magenta in there just to get okay, so that's like the first layer. Now I'm gonna go in with other layers, right? But I don't know, can you see this? Let's get this stamen in here a little bit better. Okay, now I'm gonna add some white to that. Okay, and now I wanna get some shorter layers. I need to make my brush thinner, so I just gotta twirl it on my canvas to do that. Tip of my brush. And some of them are going in like weirder directions, right? There's some way down here that I missed. And then some, these guys are coming around like this. And these guys coming down here. Ooh, I like him. He's cool. Okay, why am I calling flowers hymns? It's weird, isn't it? Okay, I'm gonna make that stamen really stick out now. And now I'm gonna make some petals go right over him. There. All right. So shall we do another one? Are you guys still here? Are you guys still here? You're here. Hi, Piggy. I really like the concepts of drawing on the original piece to get a feel for movement. Thank you, Luann. Yeah, that is how on it. That's how I taught myself actually how to draw was by tracing. All right, we're gonna do this cool one up here, which is just a big old challenge, but I'm gonna get that stamen in first so I can work around it, okay? So the stamen is dark orange, so I'm gonna take a good amount of magenta and add a good amount of yellow to it. And that will give me a bright orange, which that's what I prefer. So, all right. So that stamen, the directionality of what's happening is like this. Mm-hmm. And then there's going to be more added to it. Hey, David. Yeah. Seamus is scratching at the back door. Let's get some. David, Seamus is scratching at the back door. Okay, so that's good for now because we'll get more petals in there, and then that petal is peachy, peachy, peachy. All right, so we gotta make that peach color again. I'll take some of that orange. There we go. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Maybe I have a little bit too much water on my brush. Yep, I did. Okay. All right, so see, I've already got it down, so that's just gonna help me. And it really doesn't, I mean, it really doesn't matter if it's just exactly right, because we're just doing. I'm gonna have to do some details with this, obviously. Okay, so I've got some white. Now let's add some more peach to that. I gotta make a different shade here for around here. And then get some of that shading in to the whole flower. Okay, so then I'm going to go back to that orange, dark orange stamen, dark orange and magenta stamen, and get some of that popping over here, coming up. What is this? It's like my own personal little flower petal, and then some of that going down over there. There. So looking kind of, let's see, let's get some shading in here. And this coming out here like that. Perfect. All right. It looks really, really funky, but then when we go and get the stem in, that's going to come up and down here, then we're going to really understand how it's working. Okay, let's get this one in, because that'll be really, really easy and fun to do. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take yellow, but I'm going to add some white to it so it is opaque. I would rather do this with my square brush, this guy. All right, so he is way up here, and he's just gonna go like this. He's actually round like this, okay? So that's his shape, and I should have gotten his shape in here first. He's oval. Okay, so then this is coming up kind of this way. And then there's another one coming down this way from there. And this way. There. I had too much water on my brush, so my brush is all separated, so I'm going to just go in with a different brush. Where is the brush I want to use? Where is it? Let's try this one. Okay, white and yellow. All right, this is going to be easier to work with. Easy peasy. So that guy's easy, easy, easy peasy. And then if you want to add some, like, these are not detailed yet, right? But I might just add some details coming in like that and coming in like that. Okay, then the stem is going to come up, down, up here, and down in here. So we'll be able to see the directionality. Like, I'll draw the stem with a paintbrush. Let's just draw a few stems, and then we'll be on our happy, merry way. All right, so who is going to do this challenge? I have had a very small sampling of y'all's doing challenges, and it's been making me sad. So who's doing this one? So this guy, this stem is coming up here like that, and then down in. But I don't really want to draw the stems because the background has to get in first, right? So what I'm going to be doing is doing more flowers, just a handful more flowers, and then I'm going to pull the background in, and then there'll be other flowers over the background. That's kind of what I like to do. So I'll show you how I'm going to pull the background in. So pulling the background in is basically, I'm going to be going with some more opaque, right? And these colors that I already used here, I'm going to use a lot of those. And one of them is burnt sienna and some brown. I mean, which is a red brown, right? And some white. Okay, and I'm going to do a little bit of this going around that. Where is that color I just mixed? Then I'm going to add the blue in there. So I'm really going to start cleaning up a little bit of this, going around where maybe the vase is. I'm not really caring that it's going to be dripping because I'm going to be doing lots of layers of this. But this is just going to help these flowers start to make some sets. And help me be able to separate them a little bit. Okay, where's my blue? I want to try to keep on this one, and this is not what this activity is about, but just so you can see what I'm doing, I really want to keep this painting kind of abstract-y. So I'll be using small brushes, these small flat brushes and the big brushes, and mixing this blue and brown in here and kind of scribbling the paint on, as long as my flowers are dry. Okay, so just kind of just doing all sorts of things with my brush. As long as my flowers are dry, I might be spraying it to get more of this crazy look, but I'm trying to get like a really pretty abstract-y looking floral, right? So that's where I am with it, you guys. Does anybody need to see anything else? If you're there, do you have something you want me to do? This one is going to be really pretty, I think. Let me look at that. I will check the comments to make sure I'm doing right by you right now. Okay, comments. Yay, you'll give it a shot. Yay. Thanks, Luann. Love that fluffy guy. I like that you're calling it a guy. I feel like I want to do this one now too. So since we're here, let's just do it, right? Okay. Let me get my pointy brush. So this one is facing straight up, right? So I am going to get the stamen in again first. Mix that magenta with a little white and a little orange, a little yellow. I want that red. Oh, probably too much paint water on my brush. So we're going to get this darkness in right here to work with. Even up higher. Yeah, there. Okay, now we gotta make another fluffy guy. So here we go. Let's get the light color, and then I'm gonna roll my brush to make it pointy. I'm gonna come right out from here. I'm looking at the brush strokes. or I'm looking at this, the strokes, the patterns of them. Oh, I wanted to go in from the outside in and then layer it, so I will do that here. But some of these guys are going in wacky directions, which I love. Really curvy here. And then straight here. And then these ones are curving up, but we're gonna have to do those after. Okay, I'm gonna change the color of my brush just to create some depth. Just a slight change. I keep on putting more water on my brush, and that is a mistake. It's easy to get the different shades because all I have is magenta and yellow. Those are the only, and white. So it's easy to just come in here and get different shades. Let's get some Schwarty guys here. Gotta go right over that stamen in the middle. There we go. So you just start, and then at some point you're not looking at your you know, your, what is it called? Your reference anymore, because you're just doing the thing. Okay. All right, so you can see the clear difference between the way that one's facing and then the way that one's facing. And now I'm gonna get some white in on that stamen. There. Oh, let's get some white in here. White. Okay. All right, I like him. Okay, I'm gonna call that a day. I'm gonna let this dry, what I'm working on, and then I'll be sending you guys updates and show you how this is going. But like I said, this was not about getting this floral tutorial done. This is about, if you came in late, watching how the process of how I get flowers going in different directions, of how I actually use photocopies and draw on them. And then the challenge is to make a flower painting with flowers going in every direction. You can use my reference if you want, or you can find your own reference, but you're going to be finding messy flower arrangements where you see the flowers going in all directions. And I thought this reference was just such a perfect example of that. Okay? All right, you guys. Thanks for coming with me, and I will see you next time. Okay? And I will be posting updates, and I'll do a studio update this week, so and show my progress. Okay? Bye, guys. Oops. On here, this is where I need to do it. I just noticed something. All right. Bye, you guys.